a lot of people thought, oh, that's good for Canada because he should be able to beat him. And then they checked the rankings and saw that Cadbo is #1 ranked in the world. Suddenly, it wasn't such a great draw.
We were not the ones to make that same mistake.
No, of course not. You and I.
No. But we also noticed that the other Thai fighters in the smaller weight class are all ranked in the top 5 in the world. Very strong in the smaller weight classes, the Thai fighters.
Yeah, they have 4 highly ranked fighters from 48 to 57 kilograms, so theirs is a small but a powerful team, and now we are set for the start of this bantamweight preliminary bout. Again, Claude Lambert of Repentigny, Quebec, the first Canadian to see action in this Olympic boxing tournament. Referee is from Tunisia, and the bout's underway. The only thing I see that could be advantageous to Lambert, as I said, if he can land the left hook, see, he's already trying to get outside, and he's going to box to the computer. As per the orders of head coach Yvon Michel, they're going to box to the computer regardless of what the crowd says. You know, they're not going to try to be aggressive because you don't get points for aggression. And Lambert can easily match strengths with Cadpo. The way I see Cadpo beating him, though, is to outslip him with good straight shots like that, and he didn't get to be #1 in the world without being able to do that. Claude Lambert is a tough customer who has ridden a lucky streak to get to these games. Lost the national title to Zaya Yunin, then couldn't beat him in the Olympic box-off tournament, but Yunin couldn't make weight at North American qualifying tournament in Halifax, so Lambert got the call to take Yunin's place, got to Halifax 15 minutes before the weigh-in, and qualified with a 15-10 decision over Samuel Alvarez of Mexico. Mind you, it wasn't all luck, Russ, because Lambert had to survive a first-round knockdown by Alvarez. He was not about to let a tremendous opportunity slip by.
He had 2 knockdowns in that fight, picked himself off the canvas after trailing to come back and score with devastating left hooks and right hands to win the fight. He tried a left hook earlier in there, and it just missed. Cadpo's going to try that left hand straight down the middle again and again and again. Now you see Lambert constantly going to his left. That's what he's got to do to take away the impact of the left hand. The more he moves to his own left, the more difficult it will be for Cadpo to land that straight left.
Cadpo is doing all the stalking early in this fight, but a good defense presented by Claude Lambert.
If he can keep this close through 2 rounds, he's got a shot. If Cadpo pulls away with a lead after 2 rounds, it's going to be virtually impossible for Lambert to catch up. Too much experience for the world's #1.
Again, Claude Lambert of Repentigny, Quebec, in the blue. Vishay Cadpo of Thailand in the red. Cadpo is doing his best to try and track Lambert down. He's got a couple of points on the board right now.
The one thing I don't like so far, though, Scott, you see he's moving a lot from Cadpo, which is fine. But once he starts getting on that bike and Cadpo's picking up the momentum, like I said in some of the earlier bouts, every now and then you got to stop and nail the guy and let him know that you're there. If you keep running from him, he just gets to line you up and measure you more, and it's like a freight train coming forward, just keeps picking up more and more momentum. See, like right there, he's got to stop and step in with that right hand left hook combination. And don't even throw the right hand to land it. You know, you're not even thinking about landing. You just want to turn your body over so you can land the left hook.
I think the point is, so far his defense is just fine. He's only given up 2 points to Cadpo, but sooner or later he's got to throw and land some punches.
He does, and he can't keep giving that room and that respect to Cadpo. He's got to get Cadpo's respect. He's got to try to nail him coming in. Keep moving from him, nice and smart, keep doing it, and all of a sudden stop and step in with that right hand left hook.
Lambert won the national championship in Winnipeg in December of '93, then lost the next 2 in Edmonton and Brampton to Zaya Yunin. He says the turn of events that has seen him land here in Atlanta has been just like a movie.
Lady Luck ran out at the draw for him, didn't it, Scott?
Yeah, drawing #1 ranked fighter in the world was not part of the game plan, but Lambert's done not a bad job here in the first round. Now taking a standing 8 as the round comes to an end.
But Scott, look, you see that, okay, now they've done it. They stopped the clock. Now, in previous bouts, we had seen it go on, but they stopped it there. Now the clock is going again, and the fighters are not yet back to their corner.
That means that Lambert will not get a full rest between rounds, but the round has come to an end with the Thai boxer, Cadpo, in the lead.
Mr. Chalia.
Memorial Coliseum for the second round of Claude Lambert's bantamweight preliminary bout with Vishay Cadpo of Thailand. As the first round came to an end, Lambert took a straight left and as a result got a standing 8 count. As we've said before, standing 8s don't affect the score of the bout. And it was 3-0 before he took the standing 8, remains 3-0. Don't ask me how Cadpo didn't get a point for that.
Yeah, that's, again, it depends where it happened in the vicinity of the ring. The 3 judges have to see it. And I don't you want to know something? I don't think Lambert saw it because his headgear is so far pulled down his brow, it's amazing he can see anything coming at him.
There's another straight left hand. He started lining it up early in the first round, and he's still relying on it. That's the shot that Catpo's going to be looking for, that straight left right down the middle.
Catpo spent most of the first round trying to track Lambert down, and early in the second he's been successful.
You see the way when Lambert stops and goes into that little crouch, when he goes into that little crouch, he's got to let that overhand right go. He's got to just tuck right into it when Catpo's coming at him. Punch at the same time. When he waits and tries to lead off, Catpo just moves away from it, as you can see. He's got to catch Catpo there when he's coming in instead of getting on his bike and getting out of town.
Claude Lambert, a furniture maker from Pontiac, Quebec. He is game, Russ. That's an apt description of him. Now another standing eight delivered to Lambert. Situation with standing eights is that 3 in 1 round will stop the fight, and 4 over the course of the fight will stop it. So it's 2 standing eights now for Lambert. Now he goes on the attack.
Goes on the attack and is warned immediately. Well, that's kind of discouraging for you. Lambert's got to suck it up. He's down 7-0 already. 7-0, only halfway through the fight.
As we've said before, the scores are not being posted inside the Coliseum, and we don't know for sure if the corners are able to find out what the score is between rounds, but Lambert has to know he's trailing, and I'm sure when he heads back to his corner between rounds 2 and 3, he'll be told to go on the attack.
He'll have to. He has no choice. He's going to need the knockout. That's going to be the instruction coming back. And you see the referee seems to be getting on Lambert's case, telling him to keep his head up. In fact, he's not breaking the rule. The rule is that if your head meets the floor, if your face meets the floor, then it's a foul. That's a headbutt. If you just bend your knees, it's legal.
Final minute now of round number 2. Vishay Catpo of Thailand is in complete control of this fight. Lambert must mount some offense.
Catpo's pitching a shutout. Lambert's got to step in with that right hand instead of waiting to absorb the shot and then try to nail it. He's got to try to catch him at the same time. Get his head out of the center and throw that overhand right when Catpo comes in.
Catpo is out of the Air Force Boxing Club in Bangkok, but he's from Khon Kaen, a city of about 2 million in northeast Thailand. I talked to a Thai journalist yesterday who said they fully expect this boxer to win gold at these games.
Well, when you come in as the world's #1, that's got to be your expectation. You don't want to settle for anything less.
In fact, these are Catpo's 3rd Olympics, but in both Seoul and Barcelona, he lost his first fight.
Good left hand underneath again from Catpo, right through the defense of Claude Lambert. Down to the last 5, and he's trailing 9-0, Scott.
So Claude Lambert heading for his corner between rounds will get his instructions, and he'll have a whole lot of work to do in round number 3. He was in tough when he drew the world's #1 ranked fighter in his opening bout these Olympic Games, Vishay Catpo of Thailand, and that's precisely how this fight has unfolded. 3rd round begins, Vishay Catpo in front, 9-0. So if Claude Lambert hopes to do anything in this fight, he must get busy, and I suppose Russ hope that he can land the miracle punch.
Well, he's got to take a few chances now. He's got to get in there and try to get into an exchange with Catpo and try to land that right hand left hook combination. And there he goes. He's getting. But you saw? Did you notice when Catpo went back to his corner, the way he was looking away from his cornerman? He was looking over directly to get the score, to find out exactly how comfortably ahead he was. And I think he knows he's ahead, and he's just going to wait. If he can land the left hand, he will. But I don't think he's going to be enticed into mixing it up with Claude Lambert. Although it doesn't seem like Lambert wants to mix it up from what we're seeing here.
Lambert's had his hands held high throughout the fight, tried to present an impenetrable defense for Vishay Catpo, but has been, as you can see, anything but, as the Thai boxer leads now 10-0.
Caution for coaching from the corner.
Yes, everybody else in the building can bellow, but no one in the corner can. Catpo, 28 years old. He's been in the Air Force since 1988. He won gold at the Asian Boxing Championships in 91 and 92, so he's been strong internationally for some time.
I'll tell you, the one thing I'm noticing, and this is for future reference, we'll have to take a look at this. Catpo is basically a one-handed fighter. He relies on that straight left hand down the middle. There's no right hooks from him. He doesn't really mix up the attack too much. He's pretty basic in what he does. A straight left hand, that's a slip. Straight left hand is his key punch. That's going to be interesting information for future fighters in the 54K class. They're going to be watching this. They're going to get the video on him, and they're going to watch and see what he's got. He's got that straight left hand. They're going to try to avoid that and counterpunch it, which is something that Lambert is not doing.
Coming up now in the final minute of this preliminary bantamweight bout, Claude Lambert's debut at the Olympics. against Vishay Kadpo of Thailand. Lambert in the blue, Kadpo in the red.
That was the first sustained attack from Lambert, and he got a point.
Actually, Russ, I think the point came up about 30 seconds ago. But you're right, sustained attack is what Lambert needs or has needed throughout the course of the fight. I would suggest it's a bit too late now.
Too little, too late, and now he's just got to hope to go the distance and, you know, resign himself to the fact that he drew the world's #1. Tries the big right hand. Now, Kadpo knows he's ahead now.
Another point comes up for Lambert. Gap is cut to 8, 30 seconds to go. Seems like Lambert's last point will Kadpo up. Now he's trying to tee up.
There's caution for the head. Both of them get caution for their head. Breaks the action and the crowd lets them know it.
I'm told this session of boxing is all at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum is sold out. There are some empty seats here though this evening because there are no American fighters scheduled to go in this session. This one comes to an end now with Claude Lambert on the losing end of a 12-2 decision. So Vishay Kadpo disposes of Claude Lambert. It was though a game effort by Lambert, it just wasn't offensive enough. Fellows of Montreal heads to the center of the ring to face Kamel Chater of Tunisia in the second round of this preliminary